sitting at the bar, and we didn't get into the big party at the command conference.
We never do.
I know we never do, and
They
so
never let us in.
it's just Starfleet Boy plus Toddy. Or carve that shit
That's
on the bar there.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome.
Isn't that like a criminal act?
No, she liked it. Kirk and Spock did it, and then Boimler and at the end. Remember?
Well, yeah, okay. Isn't that vandalism?
It depends. I think it's acceptable.
It depends. It's acceptable if the owner of the bar accepts
Yeah,
it, I
like
guess.
some people like it. Like they're like, oh yeah, like.
It adds character.
That's the word I was looking for. It adds character.
It gives that bar some spice, some flavor, doesn't it?
We're back.
I feel so sad that McCoy wasn't there, though.
You think it should have been like another plus?
I'm a headcanon that he was there, but he found it ridiculous that they were doing that.
No.
He wanted nothing to do with it.
He would have been like, you guys are vandalizing.
No, he didn't want to go to the party in the first place.
Oh, he was just like...
He's not. No. Oh, no, he stayed at the party.
Oh.
Kirk and Spock got bored, but McCoy was having the time of his life.
You think McCoy would leave his friends and like stay at the party? I don't think he would do that.
Well, the green-blooded devil? Of course he'd leave him. What does he call him?
I think it's a green-blooded hobgoblin.
Oh, sorry.
It's close enough.
I'm getting my racism wrong. No one's joining it. No one's joining us. No one's watching us.
It's because everyone's today's like the day of 1,000 streams because yesterday was Star Trek Day, but that's okay. We're here. This is for posterity.
We're here for us.
Yeah, and like sometimes I feel like Earl Grey Trekkie watches like the next day, like he'll like, hey Earl Grey Trekkie, leave us a comment if you watch this. Like leave us a shout out to you.
Who's giving the episode summary? You, me?
I think you should give. Oh, and Paul might be along. He's running a little late, but
Paul might join us.
Paul might.
If he doesn't join us before a certain time, though, he has to be locked out of this Oh no, we're already locked out of the party, so we can't lock him out further.
Well, actually, Paul was at the party. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but I thought it was ironic that this episode came out on the heels. Is that correct? On the heels of the big Star Trek Day party, but Paul was there in person, so we can grill him.
Was he? Was he on the red carpet?
I don't think he was on the red carpet, but he was like part of the audience. Like do you know when it switched to like the orchestra?
Yes, I watched everything until the reveal of all of the characters in Strange New Worlds. And then I watched the Ted Lasso episode.
That's interesting. You just needed like that little time before bed, like that nice.
Yeah, I like to watch Ted Lasso before I, it's a joyful show. I mean, the episode that I watched was really heavy and long, so that I think it was like a mid-season finale or something, but
I like this. Spurk is capital not a thing, says hey, which we're gonna talk about. So
we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can
debate the
No, I think Spurk is not a thing is right. Like it's not necessarily a thing. It's not what I thought it was gonna be with this. Like when I saw this,
like given all the context now.
Yeah, now
it just means that Kirk and Spock were at the bar.
Yeah, it's like Boimler and Mariner.
We could write the plus. It doesn't mean that we're a thing together. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean, we are a thing, but not that thing.
In Chicago, we should carve our names into a thing.
Yeah, like
somewhere
into the hotel
at the command conference. Is that what we're gonna call it now? It's no longer Star Trek convention. It's the command conference.
No, it's mission. Isn't it?
Oh,
it's
Daniel Ceo's here too. Yo, Daniel. Hello from Chicago. Speaking of Chicago. Hello from Chicago. I don't know
coming to you soon.
We are coming to you.
Okay, I'll do the episode summary if you want me to do the episode summary.
Do it, yeah. One more hello. We have fun. Will now commence.
I'll do it real quick so we can get into it. B plot, I guess.
Tendi and Rutherford.
B plot: Tendi and Rutherford trying to build and complete a model ship of the USS Cerritos, but they're struggling to get through it. And so Rutherford is getting real upset because he's reading all these notes that, I'm not going to say past self, but pre-memory wipe self wrote down, and he doesn't understand the notes and etc. etc. And it turns out that before his memory wipe, before his amnesia, he also didn't know how to finish the ship. And Tendi just explains that they were using it as like a social deflector dish, and like constructing and working on the ship was a way to just stay the two of them without having outside people annoying them. So there's that, and we need to talk about that because finally we're actually diving into the big thing that happened to Rutherford. Mm-hmm. And then on the other hand,
well, we've been hinting at it the whole season. Actually, I was just thinking about.
Well, we
that.
have, but I feel like this. I do feel like this should have been done earlier, but we'll get into that. And the big plot, like the A plot, is basically the Cerritos accompanying or I suppose taxiing a dignitary from an interesting species that duplicates when they feel like
Duplers.
When they feel, what is it, anguish or shamed or put down or maybe just embarrassed or whatever it is. Like when they have these kind of I suppose negative feelings, sometimes they duplicate if it's not controlled. That becomes out of hand, and it becomes like a Tribble situation where there's just all of these duplicates everywhere over the ship. And Mariner and Boimler are off on what do they do? What is their mission? They're off on a mission.
So
what are they going to do?
So they're taking advantage of being at the starbase. Mariner gets the idea that like she's like, oh, speaking of duplicates, your doppelganger on the Titan probably has an invite to this big party.
Oh, because they're on like one of the A-class ships, right?
Yeah, and they call it, and they've done this last season too, a capital ship. I remember them.
A capital ship.
Yeah, like that's kind of a what does it make the Cerritos, like a garbage ship? Like,
yeah, it's a garbage scow.
The garbage scow. It's really.
It's
not,
a ship.
But,
it's just a ship.
It's a ship. It's just not a capital ship. Exactly.
What ship do you serve on? I serve on a capital ship. Oh.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. Like I've heard of flagship.
What ship do you serve on, sir? Just a ship. Not invited.
A lowercase ship? Can you say is it
like a lowercase ship? take your Andorian ale and go drink it somewhere else. We don't
Real quick in the chat, Daniel, I am so looking forward to that barbecue. That sounds like fun. Daniel's a Chicago native and has invited us to a barbecue at his place, so that's cool. It sounds fun.
No, we now know where to write the Starfleet Boy Plus trick on the tube.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna engrave it on your barbecue.
It's true. Should it be SB plus Toddy, or should it be like Starfleet Boy Plus trick on the tube, like the full thing? I don't know.
The full thing.
The full might be fun. So yeah, that's
Mariner and Boimler, they want to take advantage of like him having a double, I guess.
Yeah.
So thematically it sticks with the doubles, I guess. I didn't catch that during the episode. They try to get into the party, but Boimler is let in because his double is on the right ship, and Mariner clearly tries to invent something by saying the Voyager D, and
it was weird to see Mariner.
Boy doesn't see through that.
It was weird to see Mariner get rejected because she's usually the one that gets into everything. Like she's the one with the clout usually. She's got. So
yes, to finish this terrible episode summary.
Yeah, it's actually a really good summary.
We get interesting things going on with we get like a kind of I'm not gonna call it a denouement, but we get I don't know, more information and I don't know, the Rutherford memory loss situation is dealt with. And then on the other hand, we also get more development in terms of Mariner's character and her growth. And I feel like her relationship also with Boimler has kind of grown a bit. And there is a little bit of a debate or like a funny back and forth of like who's the number one. And that's not a question that any of us would have asked in season 1. But I feel like here we kind of do. Hello.
Hey.
Paul.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. You missed... Trek on the Tube's awesome summary.
Oh, awesome.
I don't need it. I just watched the episode. So
nice.
I just watched it too.
You guys have it fresh in your minds. I watched it after Star Trek Day. There was only like 10 minutes. I did a live stream on Text Trek, just like reacting
Everyone
to it.
was live streaming.
Everyone's so many live streams. Sorry, audience. I hope you're not getting live stream fatigue.
You're taking views away from the official Star Trek Day live stream by doing your own live streams.
No, we
people.
did it after. We weren't streaming at the same time. I was live tweeting though. I was a little out of control last night. 2 martinis and lots of thoughts.
You were live tweeting.
But
Paul, you were live existing? You were there?
You were there. Paul was there. It's true.
I mean, barely, because I had more than 2 martinis, so... It was an open bar, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Star Trek provides.
Did they have the Star Trek alcohols?
No. Yes. No. Were you drinking Chateau Picard?
No, it was just some wine. I don't remember what it was.
Some wine.
wait, hang on.
That's the bottle. Some wine. 2006.
He might know what it is. He's like, hang on, I'm gonna go get this wine.
He took the bottle home.
Oh wow.
I took one of them with me. It's called
okay.
Fit Vine, so not Star Trek.
Fit Vine. Dear
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
That's right. Are we allowed to ask you what was in the goodie bag at the end of the party?
It was
Please be Data's head.
yeah. They gave us these tote bags. Or like
super cool.
refrigerated bags, I guess is what that is. It was just snacks.
Oh, nice.
Healthy snacks.
Oh, healthy.
Grapes and stuff. Crackers.
We're
Very Chateau Picard oriented.
Toddy and I are like Boimler and Mariner in this episode. We were at the bar carving our names into the bar while everyone else was at the command conference.
Paul
party.
goes to like the Star Trek Day live event.
Yeah.
Kowalski
But,
Nick
like,
gets invited at the red carpet, like Lower Decks premiere, whatever it was, season 1.
Wait, is that right? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, yeah, he was in.
I was at the Discovery virtual premiere. Sorry.
So now I'm sitting alone at the bar. I'm like Mariner before Boimler came. I'm just
We'll get
sitting
you.
there.
I bet you get something for something in the future.
I'll
like,
just
it's
go
all
to
random.
Kurtzman's house at some point.
You also have to let Star Trek know you exist as a press person or a. We'll talk about it offline.
Tweet at them.
Yeah, I haven't done it. I'm too lazy, but lots of people I know.
It's
do
fine.
it.
I'm
It's easy.
fine. I'm doing my little reviews.
Savagely tweeted Alex Kurtzman, call him every name in the book, and
And you'll get.
And then I'll get blocked by Paramount Plus. That's a great.
Oh my gosh, this has gone way off topic. So, what did you guys think of the episode? I just want to say real quick, there was no teaser, no what do you call it, like a cold open?
Cold open.
Yeah, it was
Teaser.
just straight into
Teaser
the
or cold
credits.
open?
Did that happen before on Lower Decks? Is that first?
I think it happened. I think I think it has.
I think it has too.
I feel like it has. I was gonna say not the pilot, because the pilot had the. I don't know. I feel like that happened once in season 1, and we pointed it out. That's what I vaguely remember. I enjoyed it because the cold open or teasers, whatever we're gonna call them, the little snippets that we have before the opening credits this season haven't been my favorite. So the fact I didn't put this one in this episode, it didn't trouble me too much.
You didn't love the Embojitsu Mariner.
That was my favorite.
Yes,
that was my favorite of the season.
That was like what she's like.
Because it amped up like the violence of it, but only slightly, I guess, to a certain degree. Because we've seen Riker be like wounded. You know, he's got dislocated shoulders. Like, we know it's a very violent thing. Like the other ones, the sonic showers. But this, yeah. So, but we jump right into the bizarre species.
The Duplers, yeah. What do you guys think of that?
I thought that was very annoying. I mean, intentionally annoying, right?
I want to see them in live action.
Okay, I don't know what Paul... Okay, I gotta do this, because I'm gonna give you, like, an overall statement about this episode, and I feel like Paul might echo this. I don't know, but like, based on... I have nothing much to say about this episode, generally speaking. Like, it wasn't bad. It was fine, but that's kind of how I feel about it. It was fine. I enjoyed the character develop, or like the fact that we dealt with Rutherford's memory loss. I enjoyed the fact that Mariner and Boimler's kind of relationship grew a bit more. But other than that, it was just kind of like, it was fun seeing my characters again it's one of those episodes that will be part of Lower Decks in the grand scheme of things, but it's not something that I will specifically go back to or like remember. So that's my general thoughts.
I kind of felt last week last week is the one with the Megado, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the one before that. What was the one before that? Sorry.
That was
Dear God, it's all mixed in my mind.
It is all mixed in my mind too. But
No,
we can look it up real quick.
Yeah. Okay. How do we not remember these things? We just watched them.
I mean, some of us watched them more than once too.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point though is, regardless, I didn't think this episode was as like disposable as the one prior to the Megado episode, which
Tom Paris one. It's the Tom Paris one.
Oh, okay. Then maybe it is the Megado one then. Anyway, I like that Tom Paris one a lot. The Megado one I did not really like. Am I even saying that right? I don't know.
No one knows
Megado,
anymore.
Gamato.
I didn't really like that one very much. So I actually thought this episode was a step up, and I really appreciated all the character development. And I really thought that like the end with the gang all chilling in a bar together, I thought that was very sweet. So no, I wouldn't call this episode, like a throwaway or a skip.
Well, I wouldn't call it a skip or a throwaway either. It's just I have a weird way of like there's a lot of episodes in like Voyager or TNG or Deep Space Nine. I like to describe them as episodes that exist or like part of the show episodes. Like you could skip them, I guess. But if you were to skip all of these episodes, then the show wouldn't be the show it is. Like they are part of the show. They are what make the show, even if they're not standout good or standout bad. And I kind of feel like this is where we're at. Like it helps create what is Lower Decks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I may sound like a hater right now. I gotta be positive. I gotta tell people that I'm positive.
He's been doing this all week. He's like on this kick of letting people know that he's actually positive and not like a negative Nancy. It's okay, Toddy. Don't worry. Just being critical is not being negative.
Yeah, like I tweeted after the Tom Paris episode about how all the insane stuff that happened in that episode, and how, I mean, I didn't phrase it this way, but how the Star Trek Wiki, the people who edit that would struggle to reconcile that with the very serious tone of the Wikipedia. And
I saw that all.
And it got like misread by a lot of people as me dumping on Lower Decks, including Mike McMahon and.
Oh no! Oh no!
Mike.
Yeah, so like.
It's fine. We love the show.
He listens to the show, so he knows now that was a misunderstanding.
I will say though, as a
I'm
reaction to what you just said, I find it very fun because sometimes I'll watch anything that happens in like Lower Decks or Picard or Discovery, anything. I'll watch it, and I'll be like, God damn, did they really do that in the show? And then weeks later, you're reading about it on Memory Alpha, and it's so matter of fact on Memory Alpha. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what happened. Like it's I don't know why, but it seems more I don't know, real, I guess, once it's on Memory Alpha and part of what happened. I don't know. I like it like that.
I mean, we could have like a total, like, I could go off on Memory Alpha and how I generally don't think that they make very good faith arguments about canon, or, I mean, like the whole thing about Blue Del Barrio's pronouns, and years ago they were trying to claim that John Cho's Sulu wasn't gay in Star Trek Beyond. He was just really friends with
with his husband.
Like, I'm raising my daughter with my good friend here. It's like that's interesting. I mean,
hey, look, it's a fair argument because your husband is your best friend, right?
Okay, sure, but not just good friends, and they were still refused to call the Kelvin timeline, which
it's really marketed as such. They sell the Blu-rays as the Kelvin trilogy.
Mike Okuda came up with the name Kelvin Timeline for the Kelvin
plus
timeline.
It's Star Trek Legacy coming up with the name.
I thought, was it Okuda? I always thought it was Simon Pegg who came up with that. That's interesting.
No, Simon Pegg is the one who wrote about the Kelvin timeline being its own separate universe and not a branch.
Okay.
But anyway, my point is, what I've seen from Memory Alpha is hand waving away some of the goofier aspects of Lower Decks, like the koala. The fact that the Star Trek universe exists on the back of a koala is just, it's hand waved away in the Wikipedia as whatever that lieutenant's name was. He saw a giant koala and believed that the universe rests on its back, and I thought that was such a cop out.
It is an interpretation, I guess. Like, that's a way to read it.
Yeah.
But canon is bizarre that way. Like, I guess until it is confirmed or it is like shown on screen or whatever. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
So like with the Black Mountain stuff in We'll Always Have Tom Paris, I was just like, how are they gonna, how is the Wikipedia gonna fit Star Trek's version or Lower Decks version of like an afterlife into their, into their encyclopedia? Anyway, that has nothing to do with Duplers, other than the fact that they'll probably have no issue putting the Duplers in as, very seriously as an alien race who has the magic to duplicate themselves if they're, emotionally disturbed.
I challenge a live-action Star Trek show to one day use these guys.
I was really
like, just.
I was really curious because the Dupler voice sounded familiar. Did you guys catch that it's Richard Kind? Yeah, it was really cool. He's he's a big deal actor, I feel like. So that was like a huge, I think, cameo. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's great.
The list of his credits goes on and on IMDb. It's insane. He's been working for a very long time. So I won't go through anything. But like he was in the Goldbergs and Inside Out and Bug's Life and just he's done a lot of voiceover work, so that was cool. And then I don't.
If we have live action Duplers one day, it's got to be Patton Oswalt, right?
Oh, that would be amazing.
There's going to be like a million Patton Oswalts everywhere.
And then I didn't realize that there's some regular voices, but I forgot that Tom Kenny played. We didn't talk about what was his name? Melva? What was the name of the guy in this episode who Mariner was friends? Like Mariner used to live apparently on Starbase 25, and like when she arrives, like they're like, "Guess who's back?" And then he was calling her. What was he calling her? Becky.
I really liked Starbase 25. I thought that was like really fun to kind of like that car chase. Kind of gives us a little bit of a tour of the. What she called an old base.
Yeah, Malvis. And it's interesting, she called it an old base, and its design, it looks kind of like a transition between those TOS star bases and like the later ones we see in TNG, which are all basically that one from the one from the movie,
the one where they had the budget to make one.
Yeah, like that's they had to like use the hell out of that model because it's like they probably spent so much money on it. But yeah, so it was cool to see that, and I like that because going back to the Kelvin films, that's how the star bases were in the Kelvin films too. So I kind of like that. I like that, like with the pods sticking out and the the docking arms and stuff like that. It was very cool.
I would like to see a starbase or a planet or something with a little less neons at some point. Like I understand that there's a lot of like shops and bars and what have yous, but I feel like maybe there's a lot of neons going on. Like everything's very, I don't know, cyberpunkish in the future, like in these shows nowadays.
Yeah, but didn't the animation look really beautiful because of all those colors?
Yeah,
I agree. The well, I mean, I'd argue that the jungle looked better, like in the previous episode, but the car chase and like the action sequences were like wonderfully directed. Like the way that was handled with the camera angles and like the I guess the speed effect, like all of that was really good.
Yeah, I love seeing all those aliens.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I recognized a lot of them. And God, I love the it's bizarre that like Pike's chair has now become such a a commonplace thing within the universe,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I love the
one.
joke of him like, dude.
Was that Kurtzman in the chair? I couldn't figure
Did
it
it
out.
look
I was
like
trying to figure out who it
trying to
was. I was
figure it
looking
out
at it. I
too.
was like, that is too specific to not be someone. That's a producer of some kind or someone that works on the show. I mean, is it Kurtzman? That would be horrible. Poor guy. Put him in
I
a
think
chair.
he probably sanctioned it. It's probably fine, Toddy.
He
it's
asked.
Not the first,
Draw me.
It's not the
Put
first
me in
time
the
Lord
chair.
X takes a jab at Alex Kurtzman. It's interesting that the show does that. Blue says Quark blew up. He's got a bar in every place. It's true. We've seen a Quarks like pretty much everywhere we've gone. There's like a Quarks. It's true. It was hilarious when he called Mariner Becky. Alexandra did not like this episode. It was a snooze fest.
No.
Not even a chuckle.
Oh no.
Braxton says the car chase was really good. Yeah, the car chase was fun. There's a weird debate about cars today on the internet. I didn't have time to dive deep into it, but like something about cars and Star
Oh,
Trek.
it was
Like,
the wheels, because we see wheels in one of the images in Star Trek Picard. But it's time travel, right? They're not in the 24th
yeah, but what about
century.
his car? He had a car that was in the Argo, like that. You know, I don't know.
He had
We
plenty
don't
of
want to go
things.
into it.
There were plenty. There's plenty of things with wheels in Star Trek.
There's a lot of wheels. We're talking about Starbase 25. What did you guys think? What did you guys think of the command conference? The idea of the command conference.
Captain Shelby, and her and her first officer was the prototype Saru makeup from Discovery.
Oh yes, that's really cool. I didn't realize that. You're right.
So, this is a party that never stops, and it's been going on for like hundreds of years at this point.
No, well, it happens every year. It's not that it never stops.
Oh,
I
okay.
got the impression it's like a conference. It's like Star Trek convention, like Mission Chicago.
Okay.
Like it happens every. That's exactly what I equated it to. Was
A Mission
like,
Chicago.
Yeah,
Mission
but, like,
Starbase 5.
Starfleet, all Starfleet officers want to go to the command conference. Like it just sounds cool too. It's like
It seems a little hip though for like Picard or Cisco. You know, it seems a little young. They've got Roga Dana as the DJ and everything.
No, it was Okana, dude.
Oh, sorry.
DJ Okana, like what
DJ Okana?
Roga Dana.
Who was it?
DJ Angry? No, it's DJ Okana, the outrageous Okana, which by the way is an amazing DJ name. I used to go by DJ Tanner, but now everyone uses that one, so I'm gonna start using DJ Okana when I DJ. It's much cooler. He was bringing the party. It was very fun. I can't believe you thought it was Roga Danar. Although, who would Roga Danar make a good DJ? Like, would like, I think he's too angry. I don't think he knows how to have like fun.
Like, but did they let him off the moon? Yeah, they let him off the moon because now he's living on the planet, I guess. Roga Dana.
With James Cromwell.
Reluctant James Cromwell. He was so disgusted at the end of that episode. Like, what do you mean we have to get along with these people? James Cromwell plays a good mean guy. But yeah, so we get the command conference. That was cool with Shelby, and then there was like a mini first officer. That was like really funny. It's like, I forget who that captain was, and but yeah, I don't know. I don't suspect.
So there's a species out there of essentially like humanoid, but tiny humanoid. Okay.
Likes to perch on somebody's shoulder.
These are the kind of extreme differences that I guess trouble like the people that conceptualize and design starships, because like the engineers that build ships, like, god damn it, now we got all of these like different species to accommodate. How does he have his own chair, or does he just sit on the captain's shoulder all the time?
He probably sits on the captain's shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
He probably has like a little chair that like hangs right at the top of the captain's chair, and you can
That hangs.
Yeah, it's like
No, it can just float, right?
He could, or he swings him. Yeah, I don't know. It's like having a mini-me. What was the episode where Jean-Luc gets he's like put in that trap with like other people, and there's one alien that's kind of like suspicious the whole
What did you call
time.
it?
Allegiance.
Allegiance. That was what Melva was, right?
Yeah.
I knew it.
His pacifist species, even though he was selling weapons.
Selling weapons. That's it.
He's not using them.
That's true.
It's a very foreign way of seeing things, I guess.
That's right, that they'd been conquered. Oh, that was like, oh wow, I'm getting all these flashbacks to that episode. It's crazy. But yeah, I thought that was cool. So, so they don't get into the part. So this is the party, the after party, the big party at the command conference. Apparently, it's really exclusive. You have to be a captain and
we're on a capital ship.
Of a capital ship, yeah. Hey, Paul, do you know anything about capital ships? Like, is that something that Star Trek has done before Lower Decks? Because it's the second time they mentioned capital ships, but I've only heard it on Lower Decks.
Yeah, I think Lower Decks is the only time that it's been mentioned on screen, but it's definitely like at least like a fan construct until Lower Decks.
Oh yeah,
where like the Enterprise was like a capital ship, and then you had like the Defiant, which is an escort. Although I don't know if it's ever been has it ever been called an escort on screen?
I don't know. I think we've only got like flagship
for
like Enterprise as the. But clearly there are like ships that because when Worf is saying like tough little ship or whatever it is it Worf that says tough little ship?
Yeah.
Riker says it to Worf, right?
Riker says it in both Deep Space Nine and First Contact.
Oh.
Capital ships.
Does he? Does he say it in Deep Space Nine?
Yeah. He says it. Thomas Riker says it in the episode Defiant.
Oh, okay.
In the Navy, capital ships are the most important warships. They are generally the larger ships when compared to other warships in their respective fleet. A capital ship is generally leading or a primary ship in the naval fleet. So yeah, I see where it comes from. I see why like it would have been a designation that like
and you see why Cerritos isn't the capital ship. And I don't think like if we have a Captain Crusher and she's got that like one of those medical ships, like that wouldn't be a capital ship either because its primary function. I guess like you're talking about war and military. I guess here we're talking about exploration maybe and defense. But yeah, it would have to be one of those big kind of exploring ships, I guess.
Well, I want to know what kind of ship Shelby has. Like that's kind of a cool thing. Yeah. Like it's neat that Lower Decks is like even though it's like you have to kind of like, as you said earlier, like kind of like maybe make some accommodations for the humor. It is expanding the universe like in a really cool way, like like giving us little hints at stuff that you always kind of were wondering about during the actual shows. Like a Captain Shelby is like an awesome like that's
because it's taking place in current times. Like I don't know how to explain this, but Discovery before was in the past. Now Discovery's in the future, but Lower Decks is taking place in the present for some reason, like in the present of Star Trek. In my mind, that's my interpretation.
The only show that's in the present is Star Trek Picard, except for season 2, which will be in the past. But as far as like the present, it's
Picard
like
and Lower Decks are taking place in the present.
Okay, yeah. So the general present,
the general present era, I guess, of Star Trek. And so yes, you can bring back so many characters that we've seen.
Yeah.
In like the TNG Deep Space Nine Voyager era.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see what you mean. It's more in the here and now. Disco, of course.
I will agree though. Picard is more the present though than Lower Decks, I guess.
But you're not going to get like Captain Shelby.
But it's all post Voyager. That's what it is. It's post Nemesis.
Yeah. Is Prodigy is going to be in the present, quote unquote, right? Like that's.
No, I think it was supposed to be 5 years after Voyager ended.
Oh, okay.
It's 2383. Is that what they said it was?
So it's definitely before Lower Decks, right?
I don't know. It's post Nemesis again.
Somebody check Star Trek Wikipedia, Memory Alpha.
We should have all these.
I have a complete timeline, but Prodigy's not on it yet. So I don't know.
When are you gonna update your timeline? Because I feel like all the shows.
I'll do it. I'll. There are so many shows coming out like all over the place now that I can't. I'll just do it like once a year. I'll do like every January. We'll do an update. I wonder
if Strange New Worlds is going to be. I mean, it's been 2 years since season 2 of Discovery, are we going to pick up on Strange New Worlds? I guess it'll have been 3 by the time it airs. Are we going to pick up in Strange New Worlds 3 years after the Discovery disappeared, or are we going to pick up immediately after she disappeared? Or
Someone said, "What's the date? Do you remember the not the start date, but the year TOS starts? Is it 60? Is it 2367?
7?
67? Someone speculated that in order it might be
Wait, the original series?
Yeah, the original series. You remember the year it starts?
2265.
Oh, 22. I'm like 23. Sorry, 2265. So maybe 7 years before that. When does Discovery leave? Leave the. What year does Discovery
I think it's
leave?
like we don't know because they did so many time travel but it's sometime like between 2256 and 2260.
So I think someone did figure it out and said something about like 7 years before.
Well, it's because like in the first season they already go like a year and a half or something because they like time travel for 6 months, then they do like another 9-month jump or whatever it is, or like they hop around quite a bit even in that first season because they do time jumps when they're going back and forth from the mirror universe. They don't come back at the same point in time as when they left.
Back on the ship as the Duplers are totally exponentially multiplying, Tendi and Rutherford have like some special moments, and I thought that was pretty cool. What did you guys think of those scenes? Anything stand out?
I mean, I love that Rutherford he's got the Eagle Moss Cerritos before anybody else does.
That's the AMT one with lights and sound. Like that one's it's like a much bigger than the Eagle Moss. I feel like. Which, by the way, I saw the Eagle Moss and I'm so excited to get it. They even I feel like they kind of uncartoonified it a little bit. Like it's got like a more.
I've seen some live action renders of the Cerritos done by like fans. It looks really cool.
Oh, I haven't looked that up yet.
There was I was even fooled. At one point, I was looking at a picture with like a lot of ships in the fleet that were like really HD live action renders, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then it took me a while. I was like, wait, that's the Cerritos. It's not supposed to be here. But it took me a while because it matched, so it fit in so beautifully.
This season, she looks the most she looks a lot more detailed than she did last season. Sometimes the renders look very live action-y to me.
Yeah, she almost looks photoreal this season. I really like the Rutherford Tendi subplot. I mean, I was a little annoyed that yet again they've paired them off, which is something that they seem to be trying to get away from this season, where they pair off Mariner and Boimler and Tendi and Rutherford. But I appreciated that they finally circled back to his memory loss in a meaningful way, and not just it had been mentioned a few times, but it
was addressed, I guess, this time.
Yeah, but in with the his in the context of his actual inner life, his emotional life. I appreciated that.
I don't mind that they paired them off in this way. I get that we want to see, I guess, more diversity in the group ups and in the pairings. Because, Mariner and Rutherford together would probably have even less to say than Tendi and Rutherford. But it makes sense to me that they would continue, they've become friends, two duos, I guess, each on their own respective side. So it makes sense that we continue seeing those team ups or that pair up for at least a few episodes before really transitioning into never seeing them, both on their own side. I don't know if this is making sense.
It was interesting. The pairs were each working out some kind of tough thing. Mariner was working out her resentment that she was feeling for Boimler leaving, which is
she's been vulnerable for 2-3 episodes now.
Yeah, she's going through stuff this season, but which I like. People are complaining that she might not grow as a character, but I think these are very good kind of indicators that the character is having some kind of crisis or something. They're changing, and then for Tendi and Rutherford, it's interesting because Rutherford's trying to just make things as normal as possible, but he doesn't remember what that was, so he's guessing, and he's like, oh, like she's trying his hardest to guess, and it isn't until the end where she's like, no, you don't remember, like she's not realizing that he actually doesn't remember, and she's like, we used to just like build the model as like a way to keep other people away, and like, you know, to have like our moment. And
yeah, she's not exactly guiding him through it, is she?
yeah, she wasn't really guiding him too. It's interesting that she would forget that he's forgotten so much, but it was interesting to see.
It means
that.
he's doing a good job at normalizing the whole situation, I guess.
I mean, well, Rutherford's kind of like an easygoing guy, right? Like he's not much of a, he doesn't really get stressed out often. Like he seems like it seems like it's easy to forget that maybe, you know, he's going through some kind of trauma or some kind of like experience. I found one of these like renders you're talking about, and you could totally see that in TNG. Like that's like, it's like amazing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks like it belongs on DS9.
Yeah, or DS9. Yeah,
flying around in the background, better than those Kit Bash ships they used.
It'd be cool if they do. I would be so down if they do a remaster of DS9. If they threw a California class in, just here and there, just to like. What are you looking at? Like, what does that look?
You can't do that kind of shit.
What are you talking about?
It's a slippery slope.
What?
You can't. That's Lucas. That's the wrong direction. You can't do that.
What do you?
It's already very troubling that in the original series remake they changed planets and they changed shuttlecrafts and they changed like.
Is that troubling?
It is. What's canon? We don't even know yet. No one's ever confirmed which is canon, the remaster or the original.
It's the remaster. I mean, like, the remaster fixed a lot of stuff. So
oh, okay. But that's not official though. No one said that. No one's actually came out and said.
Trek on the Tube's waiting for. I don't know who
I'm
he
waiting
thinks,
for a goddamn
I don't know
list.
I don't anyone.
Star
Trek.
Someone needs to make a list.
I don't know who he thinks at Star Trek is gonna just come over.
Hire someone.
He's gonna be like
anyone.
This is for Trek on the Tube. Where do you want it? Do you want to see it on the website?
Yeah.
Then it's all the remastered stuff. If you go to Star Trek's website, all their pictures are remastered pictures.
They have no original effects.
Yeah, if you go to the Star Trek website and you look up articles, they always use the stuff from the remaster. Okay. So if that's what you need, then there you go. There's your answer.
Okay. Well, then there's multiple versions of movies too.
Just go to the website. Do your research. You'll find
Disney
out.
had a list. It angered a lot of people when Disney came out with their Star Wars list because it made a lot of things legends. But at least they had a list. They're like, yo, this is what's real and what's not.
That's the thing, though, is there's nothing contradictory. I mean, if TOS prior to the remaster showed a stock footage of a planet, just because the remastered like changed, it's like the same 2 or 3 planets that they used the entire series, so the remastered at least created mostly new unique planets for each world.
Yeah, it's more like Harry Mudd's shuttle, that kind of stuff. Like Harry Mudd's shuttle was one way in the original, and in the remaster it looks like this. But I will grant that like the way that it looks like now was that like Eagle Moss releases that model. Like they don't release the crappy, what was it, like a triangle 2D model, whatever it was that they had in the original.
Blob.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Most of the time they were just blobs. So
yeah.
Although those blobs won like Emmys or whatever, like for visual effects. Well, the
TOS won Emmy. We're not here. We'll have a TOS.
TOS won an Emmy, I think, for like the original Tholian vessel. The multicolored arrowhead.
There's a lot of conversation in the chat about Duplers. I think that's so much fun. Duplers are like tribbles in a way.
Totally.
But
do we have trouble acknowledging Duplers as like a legitimate, I guess...
You can't have it one way.
Actual species.
You can't pick and choose. Like it's on.
No, we
screen.
can't pick and choose.
It's
it is.
on screen.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Do you guys find it plausible?
I find
shift his mass to a sub-dimension or whatever they said in Deep Space Nine he does, where he is able to change his mass in order to become a rat that's not heavy and hot. Or he's like a glass that somebody can carry around and not notice that it's like 200 pounds.
That's fine.
Yeah. Duplers can do whatever the hell they're doing in this episode.
It's true.
I do
it's
think
changeling technology.
I've also headcanoned that the more they duple, like the more they double up, the more sensitive they become, and that's why it becomes exponential, right?
Yeah.
Because originally the first guy, it took a long time for him to like double up, and then the other guys double up even quicker, and then there's like even scenes when Rutherford and Tindy are just talking between themselves, but you still see the flashes. Like there's still guys like doubling up for no reason. Like no one's saying anything to them.
And they're clearly not all sentient, right? Because they reverted back into the original Dupler without. I mean, like they weren't dead, right? They didn't pop into
They were all him
briefly and then die.
Yeah, it's weird. I wonder if like there were some they like they dedupled is what he called it. Thanks for dedupling me. And they all dedupled, and then he went to his quarters. It's what if one of your duples like runs off? Like
So,
what happens then? Like
you guys
do have to
remember
rejoin with
the
your
episode
duples?
Similitude, I think it's called, from Enterprise?
Yeah, vaguely.
Okay, so what
These
happened?
are the best episodes of Enterprise. I can only vaguely
Yeah,
remember.
it's like I think it's
What happens in that
legitimately
one?
the best episode of Enterprise. They create a clone of Trip that they call Sim.
Oh, now I
Okay,
remember. That's
so what
I
happens-
hate that
what
episode
happens
because
if-
it traumatized me.
What
That's
happens
why I
if you
don't
what happens
remember
if
it. I
you
hate
double
that
what happens
episode,
what happens if you
actually.
have a dupler crew member and he's ill or something, but you double him? Can you use the organs from the double to fix the original one?
I think that you should write a really good, very serious live action episode about the Duplers and have that be the central concept.
It's like Packlids trying to exploit the duplers, but you put it with like the most serious,
You're-
dramatic tone.
Your episode would be called Reduple
Read.
instead of deduple. There you go. I helped you out there. Wow, who knew that this conversation
Duple
would
tap.
be so heavy on the dupler, the duples?
I like that one.
What was it? What was it?
Duple tap.
Wow. All right, so we're about to run out of time here, so I just want to like talk about Kirk plus Spock and Mariner plus Boimler. So
we go.
I was hardcore standing for Spirk to come into play in this, and it leaves it where we've always been. It doesn't really like add anything to the Spirk debate. It doesn't really like take away from it. It's just a cute little moment. What do you guys think?
It acknowledges like the interest that the fandom has in it. That's what it does, right? It's a nod to like the fandom, I guess. No.
Yeah, I
Bugged
think so.
out.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. Yeah.
Wink towards Spurs.
Yeah, it doesn't like canonize like a romantic relationship or anything. But it's nice to.
That's what Strange New Worlds is gonna do. It's gonna canonize. I like that. Paul's like, yes.
I think maybe Strange New Worlds is going to try and canonize a bit more of that Spock Uhura.
That's what everyone's
Spock
thinking, but I don't think they're gonna go.
So
There.
you're gonna go Spock Chapel? You're
I
gonna.
mean, good,
No,
since
because
it's on the show, you know?
Spock Chapel's not gonna work either.
They should just lean into Spock having like a major crush on Pike.
Or Spock in number one, who got a full name now.
There was, yeah, that was cool. What was her name? Una something Riley? Chin Riley, I
Chin
think.
Riley, yeah.
Chin Riley, yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, it's really cool. But we're not here to talk about Strange New Worlds too much. But yeah, Kirk plus Spock, Mariner plus Boimler. I mean, this is kind of like something that Mariner's totally obsessed with Kirk since the beginning of the series. I think it's cool that they carved their names next to Kirk and Spock. It's like a really
It's gonna
nice...
be so puzzling for like so many other people though. People are gonna go to the bar. And, oh, Kirk and Spock. Yeah, I know them. Who the hell is Mariner and Boimler? Like,
It's true. It's gonna be super puzzling. I like the idea of this like hundreds-year-old bartender who has been around, who's been on Starbase 25 and has seen it.
I was waiting for like it was my father or it was like one of my ancestors. No. The bartender has been alive for hundreds of years at this point.
Hundreds.
Well,
yeah.
no, I mean, the original series is only like 100, like 120 years.
Yeah. Okay, so like a Vulcan could live that long. So I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Spock and Kirk definitely had a drunken fling on this Starbase. It was a Starbase, but yeah, I agree. They were probably like they got wasted.
Kirk tried to kiss and dismiss him, but Spock
No, it's
was
the
like,
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, you think Spock?
Yeah, because if you if you read the the TMP novel, Kirk acts a lot like William Shatner, and he's a denier of his own feelings, and it's more like, oh, I know how Spock feels, but you know.
Wait, what? In Gene Roddenberry's novelization of the motion picture, he acknowledges
there's like this weird ambiguous thing of like where he's debating what Spock's love means. Like he's like, Spock called me this word in Vulcan, and it could mean lover or it could mean brother, and I'm not sure. It's been so long since I read it, but it's like very weird. And then Kirk talks kind of vaguely as like referencing his bisexuality. Like he says something along the lines of like, like I'm not one to like say no to that kind of relationship or something like that.
Roddenberry was already fan fictioning, like he was already conceptualizing Imzadi and all of that concept.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe I have to go. It actually would be interesting to go back and read it because I'm just like I probably like layered so many of my own things on top of it that it probably
you've put the gay agenda on it.
I have put the gay agenda. I also added the gay agenda to my screen name on Twitter, so I'm really excited about that. Did you? Oh, one quick question. About Star Trek Day, was the red carpet something you guys were able to see happening? Like you saw it on TVs?
We were totally isolated from the red carpet. The lowly fans, we got stuck in like the back, and we got to there's like it's at a museum here in LA. It was at a museum, and they have an exhibit of props and costumes and models. So while they were doing the red carpet, we got to explore the museum.
If fun. I'm not mistaken, a lot of those pieces used to be living in Seattle at the Mopop, or at the time it was called like the museum. I think it was called the Museum of Science Fiction at one point, and then they changed it to.
Most of the best stuff was from a private collection.
Paul Allen's, by any chance?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I knew it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I don't know this. I don't know these names.
Paul Allen's like I think he's a Microsoft person. Like he started with Bill Gates. Like when they were younger, they came up together. They were like coding and stuff like that. He's a huge Star Trek fan, and he's responsible for like a lot of development in Seattle. And like he's very much into pop culture and especially Star Trek. In fact, his development company is called Vulcan, and if you go up and read the sign, like I was just like, I was like, how do people not see these? There's like, he leaves little clues all over Seattle with like Star Trek.
Oh my god, he's got like a real life Easter egg hunt going on.
Yeah, it is, and like with like these real life, and it's so delightful. And I was like, wow, I had no idea about Paul Allen until I lived in Seattle. But anyways, he renovated there's only two Cineramas. There's one in LA, if I'm not mistaken, and there's one in Seattle. And it's like the Cinerama in Seattle is like super tricked out. It has laser projection, really amazing sound system, and it was like 2 blocks away from where I lived. So that was my movie theater, and they always have a rotating exhibit, and there's always something Star Trek in the exhibit, and it all comes from Paul Allen's private collection. So it's pretty cool. So he has a lot of Trek memorabilia. But then the Museum of Sci-Fi, that's what it was called originally, and then it became the Museum of Pop Culture, had a huge Star Trek exhibit. And when I started Starfleet Boy, the channel, like 5+ years ago, I remember getting a lot of shirts and like pins and props and stuff because you could buy them at the gift shop. So it was pretty cool. Here it is. These L Cars coasters came from that and stuff like that. Cool. So yeah, Seattle's a very Trekky town. I miss it very much.
I gotta go. So many places I gotta go.
That was an unsolicited shout out to Paul Allen and Seattle. Very cool. So I guess the last thing. So any other thoughts on Kirk, Spock, Mariner, and Boimler before I go on to the last thing here? No. All right. So the mid-season trailer. Did you see it? Trek on the Tube.
No.
Did you see it? You saw it, Paul.
Yeah.
It was cool to get like a mid-season trailer. I can't believe we're mid-season already. It's like these 5 episodes have flown by. So they gave us a little stinger.
I don't.
They did it last year too.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. They did do it last year. I forgot about that.
No, I just want to see the episodes as they come out. I don't need the previously on or the next time on. I don't need those things. I like having like the episode credits. I sit through the credits and I read all of these names that I will not remember. I'm sorry, people, but I read your names, and then I forget about you. I'm sorry. That's just. But yeah, I like doing that. I like watching the episode, seeing the credits, and then it wraps up. And then there's like a million different logos that pop up because everyone's producing this.
Yeah, I like that too. That there's no preview for next week like they did when we're watching Voyager or Enterprise or they don't do that anymore, and I appreciate that.
Well, even early Discovery in season 1 of Lower Decks were doing it like next time. This. So yeah, because I feel like the episode as a whole includes, like, it encompasses the end credits, right? That is part of what the episode is. So
that's nice. People in Hollywood appreciate when you read the credits. But
that's why they used to put them first in the movies back in the day. Like, read it. These are the people that made it, yo.
True. End credits is a new thing. Stress Free K says the bartender is the Busby of the Starbase. I think you mean Boothby. Who was that? A Boothby reference? The guy raking, the guy raking who thought he was gonna get killed. It might have been, but... Oh yeah, because Boothby would still be around.
Paula Boothby.
Like he was around for Voyager, right? Like did he come back in Voyager or something? I forget. I don't remember.
He was a species 86472 on Voyager.
Oh god, how to fucking ruin a species, right?
PJ says this is the best episode of LDS this season. Do you guys agree? Is this the best one so far?
No. Personally, I don't think it is, but
I thought the second episode was the best of the season.
That was
I don't think that. I think you're all wrong.
what was the Mugado, right?
I like the Mugado one. That was my favorite of the season, but then,
Are we ready to, like, I'm sorry to say this because, like, I joked to you about my pitch for a Lower Decks is like an episode with 0 jokes in it. The reason why I said this was I'm ready for the show to use its format to do something that it hasn't done before. Like, it's got so much freedom because it's animated. I keep expecting the show to, like, pivot and do something weird.
So the Rise of Vindicta was like the season 1 of that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the Mugado, because it was so violent and horny, was like a new kind of twist on the Lower Decks. I didn't think it was very successful, unfortunately,
but you're saying are we ready for Lower Decks to do a straight episode, basically? Like,
no, what I'm saying is, are we ready for Lower Decks to do something different?
Because I'm ready for a just Upper Decks episode. Just the bridge crew. It's a legitimate Star Trek mission. They're going through shit. Or what I thought the show would really be, just a Lower Decks kind of thing, and you don't, like, things are happening on the ship, but they have no clue. Like, they really don't know what's going on. Like, because I always imagine when there's a crisis happening on the Enterprise and Picard's doing this and Riker's doing this, everyone's dealing with something. You got people just running around the corridors going, why are we blowing up?
Yeah.
Like, we're nowhere near, like, the neutral zone. We're just in, like, some sort of void in space. Like, there's nothing interesting. And they don't know that there's, like, a space amoeba sucking them to death.
I think Rick and Morty beat Lower Decks to it, but I think Lower Decks could still pull off where one day you're watching and it's all live action. Like, all of a sudden it's like just for fun live action. and
yeah.
Like,
unfortunately, it'd be enormously expensive.
I think you do it with the AR wall.
Sets. Well, that's true, but no, I think I'm just ready for the show to do something. There's been several episodes this season that I ended and I thought, and I'm more only midway through, but I thought, yeah, it was fine. That was an episode of Lower Decks, and it's always good. But yeah, maybe I'm just excited for how.
I think they came out of the gate so strong though. So yeah. it's I'm not gonna say it's hard to grow, but it might be like they achieved a certain balance in season 1 that I don't think anyone was really expecting. And so now their job, I guess, is to continue on doing that. So it might feel a bit underwhelming to have, I guess, the same thing again.
The mid-season trailer had me super hyped though, because there's a lot of actiony, weird, cool scenes like the Enterprise, I mean a Constitution class blowing up and like a crash landing and like I know, sorry, okay, sorry. I'm just doing like general. I'm just saying in general, there's like a lot of fun looking things. So I think that this is like the calm before the storm, but I don't know if it's going to do something different. We'll see. We'll see how it like, because we all know the formula for the first season, so we'll see if Lord X breaks that and does something new and something different. Hey, what's up, Dom? Yeah, let's give it our final thoughts and ratings. I'm just saying this was a really good episode. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was special from the perspective of like there's these things that there's just things that I like the command conference just fascinates me to no end. Like I kind of want to deep dive into the command conference and also just like, you know, like dropping Okana in there. Oh, I meant to ask, like, there were all these rumors on the internet because the actor who plays Okana says, I'm coming back for Star Trek Prodigy or something like that. So do you think this is just like a teaser? Because he doesn't even speak. He doesn't have like a speaking role. Do you think Okana might actually also be coming back in Prodigy? Is that possibly a thing that you guys are guessing? I'm guessing he's going to be in Prodigy as well. I think he's
I got no theory crafting for Prodigy. At this point, I'm just like, I don't know what they're doing.
Man, let's not forget that Sonia Gomez also said that she was coming back.
Oh, that's right. She did say that.
So, that was redacted, though, wasn't it? That was the whole situation.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Anyways, I'm going to give this episode my highest rating so far, which is a 9.8.
So you do agree with Boatrek.
Yeah, I like this episode the most so far. It's just like charming, and I like the Kirk Spock thing. Like any references to Kirk and Spock melt me, and
the character moments were wholesome.
Yeah, and I didn't mention that it was touching. Just in my final thoughts, I'll just say it was really touching to see that like the upper deckers also faced the same like rejection that the lower deckers did, like when they were trying to go to the party.
Boimler was the only one that got invited into the party. I mean, it wasn't him technically.
It was William Boimler. It was because of his doppelganger. And so that was cute, and at the end they're all together, and I liked how Captain Freeman was just kind of like gushing, like she was kind of just like really chuffed that the two of them were like getting along so well and like having jokes with each other about who's the number one and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a very sentimentally fun episode.
I also like that Freeman called Ransom Jack.
Yeah. She's done that before. She's done that before.
I know,
yeah,
but I
you like it. Yeah.
I like it. I like it when Picard says "will." You know, I don't know. It takes down a certain barrier. You know, a certain, I suppose, professionalism that they have on the bridge, and I like that.
I like that Ta'ana says something so profane that they have to like censor the entire sentence, and nobody bats an eye. They're like all used to her getting.
They're all used to her saying.
Well, they all have this scene where they're supposed to be like kind of like belittling the alien, the Doopler, and Dr. Ta'ana's line is just beeping. It's just bleeps. Like everyone has something to say. Oh, I have to point out my final comment is the joke that I loved. Shax's saying I'm part of the wave now. And he's just being dragged away. I love that. I love the physical comedy of Boimler's arms doing this in like the pilot episode, and I loved it here with Shax just being.
And he had another good one where he was like, "Your pie's weak" or something.
Your pies, that is so good.
Shax is like fully back. We haven't seen Kayshawn at all. Like Kayshawn's just like.
Kayshawn was doing Tai Chi at some point, but then now he's just.
What's up with? But I like it. I don't mind. Like, but he's even at the he's even at this conference table with the Dupler. I mean, like Shax is 100% back, so not a problem, but weird that Kayshawn's around too. I don't know what's going on. So
Kayshawn and Shax will be together, though. I mean, like not like a couple, but like
right. But at some point they're
they got to share
a scene together,
or a story. Yeah.
What do you?
I give it a 7.
7, okay.
Strong episode.
Very nice. How about you, Paul? Any final thoughts? And if you care to give a rating, you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll give it like an 8.5. Like I really appreciated the emotional story. I really appreciated the silly action in the Starbase. Wasn't too into the Duplers. And I'm ready. I'm really ready to know what's going on with the Packlets. Like they keep dropping like little hints.
That'll be like episode 7, 8, 9, or like 8, 9,
8,
10.
9,
I
and
think
10.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
They're gonna do like a big. Maybe they'll do like a Game of Thrones like episode 9 thing.
I just wouldn't hate it if they like dropped in and gave us a little bit more and then resumed,
Shax is gonna die again.
Wrapped it up.
Shax is gonna die.
That would be
episode 10.
great.
They're gonna kill him every season. That has to be the joke. Every season they kill him.
We got an 8 from Boat Wreck. We got a 7.0 Duplers from Stress Free K. I like that. Duplers. Wait, Paul.
Shax is not Shax. Shax is like a pack-lid in disguise or something. I know pack-lids can't. Are they smart enough to pull that off? Am I being mean by saying that?
There's got to be a smart pack lid.
There's got to be one smart pack-lid.
Yep.
I am leader of the pack-lids.
It's not going to be there's someone behind them that's totally. It's going to be lore.
It's the
Suleiman.
Suleiman.
They've
the bloody
also
Suleiman
dropped
are back.
They dropped references to lore, I think twice now. I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we're getting lore references.
Paul,
I don't know, but I knew that the little data things were gonna float. I was like, they're gonna float.
My old man brain got distracted. Did you give a rating? You said 8, right?
8.5.
Yeah, I said
8.5. That's what it was.
Damn it, Captain.
What? Stop it. Yeah, I know. It's like, I know. I was up late last night. I had a couple of
you don't have a
martinis.
capital ship yet.
Yeah, I don't have a cap. Starfleet Boy is not a capital ship.
No.
It's a lowercase ship for sure.
This ain't no Trek core or Trek movie yet. Come on.
A couple of comments. Fun will now comment says, for me, this was not better than We'll Always Have Tom Paris. However, it was better than the Megado episode from last week. Dom says the episode had disco prize uniforms in the background, so great episode. Nice. I didn't notice the disco prize
I didn't know.
uniform. Which we get a new disco prize uniforms.
Well,
too,
we get the white, the white and gold. That was nice.
8 from Braxton. Nice, big high ratings. But Lower Decks seems to always get some really good ratings. So yeah.
Overall, Lower Decks is a very nice show to watch. It's comfortable sitting down. You know you're gonna be pleased, I guess.
Yeah, I can't wait to start doing these reaction videos with you guys once we get to Discovery, because.
Really, we have a date.
You gotta get through.
We get
You gotta get through. No, there's Prodigy first, right?
Oh, there's Prodigy, and then there's but November 18th is the launch date for Star Trek Discovery.
That was a bit awkward in that live stream, wasn't it? The whole.
What happened?
I don't know. I feel like some of the live stream, the panel was a bit amateurish.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Or maybe it's just like the.
The red carpet was the only thing that was
just,
kind of embarrassing.
I think maybe it's just the live
Rebecca
aspect
Ramos.
to it.
Ricardo Montalvan. I don't remember what they said, but yeah, I felt like their pain though, because I think they were trying really hard, but it.
Well, sometimes when it's live, it's more difficult too.
Honestly, just go on the internet and ask everyone, how do you pronounce this? And we'll all help you. Next time, just go on the internet.
Noah AK. Be like me.
Noah Averbach Cats. It's easy. Averbach Cats. Like Bach. Okay, never mind. Anyways, what do you guys have to promote this week? Anything going on that you want to tell the audience about?
Me? I have to leave right now, so I got nothing to promote. No, I got my review will be coming out hopefully by next Tuesday, because now I'm back on schedule.
Okay, cool. And you just dropped your one for last week.
I just dropped my one for the Megado one, so everyone don't go watch it because I'm too positive and you'll seem to dislike it. So
wow. Trekkie's having a Trek on the Tube is having a crisis. Paul, anything you've got to promote?
I mean, people should, I guess, go subscribe to Trek Culture on YouTube, because I do have some videos written that I assume somebody's produced videos for them. For these scripts that I've written. I don't know. I keep saying
coming soon.
There's a video about the Lost Serena somewhere out there.
Ooh.
Get released eventually, but
oh, cool! I can't wait till that one's I'm excited about the Lost Serena.
I mean, it was a stretch since we don't really know very much about it. I really struggled to get a whole video out of that. But.
We're gonna find out a lot more about her, and possibly a weird alternate version of her too. So we got this Picard. You didn't see the Picard trailer either, Toddy?
Is he here, or is he just?
Is he frozen, or is he joking with it? I think he's frozen. Well, anyways, live long and prosper.
Yeah.
Everybody, he actually was frozen. And we'll see you next time.